1:30, we'll get started here with the meeting. If everybody would, please rise for a prayer, followed by a pledge of allegiance. Father God, you know why we are here. You know the hearts of all men and women. Remind us today of the urgency of being prepared to serve our fellow human beings in time of need. Help us as helping agents always to be available to the collective, as well as the individual needs of others in times of emergency and when people are in stressful and hurting situations. Give us an understanding of the reason why we exist and serve. We affirm today, O Lord, that a better community and a better Randolph County and a better America begins with us. Bless now this gathering, and may God bless Randolph County, and God bless America. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. So we'll get started. Meeting called to order for agenda business. And first on the agenda is public comment.
We have Cindy Arbiet.
Cindy, if you would, please step up at the podium and we'll give you 5 minutes. Tell us what's happening.
County Commission, thank you for giving me this opportunity. The reason I'm here is on behalf of my dog Buddy. On February 5th, my dog Buddy was mauled and had to be euthanized because of the extent of his injuries. They were horrific. He was torn to pieces. His trachea was ripped to where he couldn't be repaired. The dog wardens were notified by my daughter-in-law, Stacy Kuchlow. She was told they would be out to get the dog. They came and they left. The dog was left there. The incident was not investigated. I had in the past notified the dog warden about problems that were going on with this dog, but I let him know that I would speak to the neighbors myself, but I wanted him to be aware. I was also told that the dog comes into my yard and jumps onto my female dog, which he said if it would injure her, they would be responsible and they'd have to show proof of vaccines and all this. I was not told that reporting meant nothing if I didn't have them come out. I have multiple messages on my phone that I had sent to the mother/grandmother about the dog requesting that it be tied up. And I even gave them a cable for that purpose. I have lost in the past 2 goats, a cat, and 6 chickens to dogs that have been over there because of irresponsible pet ownership. And now I've lost a very dear family pet to horrific mauling. This dog and the other dog has went after neighbors, bicyclists that go out our way. I was informed by dog warden Diana that the dog came from, I informed the other dog warden Diana that the dog came from another county and maybe the first bite rule had been used there. Well, she told me I should go out and see if I could find out what county and who they got it from. Well, it's not my job. At this point, I'm in a hostile neighborhood. On March 21st, I called the dog warden Charlie and I told him that their shepherd Nada was running at large in my yard. I called him at 1:24. And at 1:44, my phone rang and it says dog warden. I said, hello? And the voice said, Jesse. I said, no, this is Cindy. Oh, he said, I dialed the wrong number. I will send Diana out. Was this a courtesy call to let Jesse know that I called in another complaint? Diana came out. Nada went into the road chasing after a car, so she was able to get her. So she was taken. During the time, the grandfather, stated a threat towards me because Diana informed me about the threat. She said she also notified the sheriff and one of the commissioners. And I spoke to a commissioner and he did say that it was reported that a threat was made against me. They got Nada back. I'm not sure who has ownership of her because now I'm told that the daughter that doesn't live there was given ownership of her and she brought her back out there. Well, I told Diana that the dogs are now getting tied up for hours on end with no food, no shelter. In the snow, when it was snowing, Diana says get pictures, get proof that they're not taking care of these dogs, then we'll have the right to come and get these dogs. Well, they didn't exercise that right, and she told me to have the documentation, which I laughed at her. I said that was really funny because any documentation I have from previous events with these dogs are not good enough to stand up to do anything about the dogs. So so I get the document, I tell her, I send pictures. She comes out with dog houses for the dogs and now gives shelter. First she gives dog food because they can't afford to feed the dogs. Now she's supplying shelter because they don't have shelter for the dogs. Every day I open up my door, I see this dog that viciously tore our family pet to pieces. Okay, so my question is, so while she was there at that point, the boy that's owner of the dog comes out and he told me I better shut my effing mouth. But I told Diana, I said, seriously, 10 years Buddy was out here. 10 years Buddy was here. And safe. Until this dog came into our neighborhood. One of my questions is, when a complaint is called in to the dog warden and the dog warden goes out, I'm really not sure it's a good idea that they're telling the people who called them and what the complaint was. I mean, they need to know what the complaint was, but they could say a neighbor, because recently one of my other neighbors had a dog warden come out and said, your neighbor that just moved in down here called in a complaint. Well, now they are texting each other back and forth, and it's not nice either. So instead of taking pets from irresponsible pet owners, we are donating food to them. We're giving them assistance to get their vaccines, making sure they get their taxes paid on the dogs, and now we're supplying shelter. I'd like to know why there's courtesy calls being denied. Why, if this dog is vicious and nobody has been concerned enough to have it tested for its behavior. Now I ask that, what are you going to do to protect me, my family, my neighbors, and my animals from this dog? Cables break, it will get loose, somebody is going to get bit. The mother / grandmother, she told me herself, and I have it in a message, that she wishes he would get rid of this dog. This is the boy just turned 18, yet he has control over the parents / grandparents that have him, because they're afraid of him too. Randolph County, we need new ordinances in Randolph County to protect people and animals from vicious animals that can cause such devastating injuries. What are you gonna do when the next time it's a person? Because at this point, you all are aware there's a problem. We have stated that this dog is vicious. And another thing I would like to request, that when you start looking at ordinances, we also look at the county ordinance to be back in place for barking dogs. Nobody should have to listen to dogs being tied up outside and barking for 5 to 6 hours during the night and saying to another neighbor that we did this to bother Cindy. Because if Cindy goes over and does something to harm those dogs, Cindy's going to jail. No matter what they did to Cindy, it's okay. I shouldn't feel unprotected in my own house. I shouldn't have to keep my front door closed. And I shouldn't have to keep my blinds shut. I shouldn't have to notify people that my chickens are going to be loose in my yard. And I shouldn't have to watch the Humane Society continue to help irresponsible pet owners keep a vicious dog. That's all I have to say. And I asked Stephanie to sign in because one of my neighbors has a special needs child. He calls me grandma and he comes down. She wrote a letter that Stephanie's going to take a few minutes to read. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Stephanie Bennett.
Afternoon, you all. County Commissioners, this was written on 5/4/22. County Commissioners, hello, my name is Roberta McSpadden. I am a resident of Grasslick Road and neighbors 2 houses up to the Fosters and Cindy Arbogast, which my 7-year-old son knows as Mamaw. I'm writing this letter with concerns over the dog Smoke, the Fosters own. Our neighborhood knows that the Foster's dog attacked Cindy's beloved dog Buddy. He was the gentlest dog ever. The way that this was handled is mind-blowing. We are a small neighborhood, so I'll just get to the point. My son is 7 years old. He has a special needs. He is autistic with processing sensory disorder. Last fall to early winter, Smoke bayed my son and myself in my vehicle at the end of my driveway while awaiting the morning bus. She left finally as the bus pulled up and let the release of the air brake. I was scared, concerned. My child has never been exposed to a dog like that. I did try to call my husband, which was at home sleeping because he had worked the night before, with no answer. At this time, Jesse Foster and I were traveling to work together. I offered him a ride every morning so his grandmother didn't have to take him. I'll mention that our neighborhood helps each other out. That morning, I told Jesse Smoke had bait us and that he needs to keep him kenneled. Then the only thing he could say is, I will, but Barb lets her out. So with the attack on Buddy, my concern is, what if it's a child next? My son rides the bus to his mammal Cindy's house at least twice a week. What if this dog breaks her run or is running loose? My son will not know what, why, how, nothing. Every dog he has exposed to is gentle. Looking at pictures of Buddy, I'm scared my son will be next and I can't replace my child. This dog barks and lunges when pulling up to Cindy's or even outside to visit her. My son and her other grandchildren play all summer long in her yard. They play in the pool. There's 2 children up at the next house beside the Fosters that play outside too. I have livestock that is on one hillside from the Fosters and the dogs bark at them. I know the law, hold on just a second, I gotta decipher here. I know the law to protect my livestock, but they don't have the funds to replace or pay vet bills. I'm scared that the next victim will be my child or other children. Please look at Buddy's pictures and imagine those wounds on a child. I did speak with the dog warden and spoke my concerns. I was told to take pictures of the dog if the dogs were loose, and there was nothing that could be done until something happened. Please don't let that happen and be a child. Thank you, Roberta McSpadden.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have anyone else, Sheriff? That's it? Okay, we'll move on to the minutes. Off the minutes here.
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve the minutes for our April 21st meeting as submitted.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve the minutes as submitted from the Randolph County Commission meeting held April 21st of 2022. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next moving on is reports. Who do we have out here? Sheriff, you have any reports?
Just something real quick. Back in the fall, I talked to Kurt Gaynor. They were retiring their old ambulance. We were looking for something kind of like that to haul gear in for our special response team for hostage situations, things like that. We're carrying gear in the back of these Explorers. So talked to Kurt. The ambulance authority gave us that ambulance. I took it to the VOTEC Center. They took it on as a project. Kids up there worked on that thing for hours and hours and hours. It's not orange and white anymore. It's now flat black, and it's has our insignia and things on it. We got that vehicle today, and I brought it. It's in the back brush bay back here. It's going to be a vital tool for our department to be able to take gear out on special scenes when we have to respond to those kind of incidents. And I just wanted you guys to be aware. The kids worked hard on it. We got it done for a little bit of nothing because of the kids' labor and the project they took on through the auto body. Jimmy Harmon was the instructor up there, and Mr. Daniels is the principal, and they kind of took this thing on, and it's pretty impressive to look at. It's got 200 and some thousand miles on it. The ambulance authority kind of wore it out, but we're gonna be able to use this thing in special times and needs, and it's gonna serve the people of the community and the county. I think it's gonna be a good asset to our department. So just want you guys to know it's there. It's in the back if you want to look at it anytime and check it out.
Thank you. Shauna, do you have any?
The biggest thing to kind of mention is the generator up at Bickle Knobs is about shot. So our generator guys asked me to put that on our replace as soon as possible list. I have notified the fire chief that affects the most, just so that if we lose power, sometimes that generator's not kicking on. So we're not able to really dispatch them off of that tower like we need to. So we've kind of put into place, if that goes down and we're having that issue, what we need to do to make sure they're getting notified, until we can kind of get that issue resolved.
Very good. Michael Parker, you have anything? No? Oh, wow. Had to pick one, you haven't been here for a while. Brenda, you have any?
Election update?
Well, just the early voting's going on right now for the election. It'll run through Saturday. Saturday, we're open from 9 to 5. Once we end the early voting at 5 o'clock Saturday, if you haven't voted by then you'll have to go to your precinct on Tuesday to vote. And those precincts will be open from 6:30 in the morning till 7:30 in the evening.
Good, Brenda, thank you. Anyone else have any reports? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Brooke, you have any correspondence? Dave? Nothing? Okay, next, moving on to announcements. And the next commission meeting will be here at 1:30 on, what, April 19th?
May the 19th.
May 19th. And I won't be here, so you guys are on your own.
I'll let Chris run it this time.
There you go.
See how he does.
Scare you to death. You're gonna run off. Okay, moving on, next are items for discussion and action. And first I have item A, and that's the informational presentation funding request from Dr. Heather Biol regarding handicap accessibility at the Cump Education Center.
Let me give you one of these too.
Thank you.
My name is Heather Viola, and I'm the director of Cump Education Center. This is one of my best friends, and I want to show you some of our other good friends who are here. Would you stand up, Joe and Linda? And this is Barbara. These are volunteers. They've just come today to help us both in asking for your support and also to help us get ready for an exciting new summer at the Cump Education Center. We've been pretty much shut down for the last 2 years because of COVID. Several of us are older and we thought we shouldn't go out, especially until we thought it was safe, and also for the students. We have had a winter program that went pretty well, helping students who needed tutoring, and we have had several small meetings. The DAR meets there and some other women's groups meet there. But we have not really been open for tours for quite a long time. We did have a Christmas open house that lasted 1 weekend. But we are working on a house that was a residence and trying to make it a safe and suitable public space. It was given to the city of Elkins, and the city does support us, but we have a number of things we need to do to make the property safe. You can see here some of the pictures of the areas where we need to work on our ADA accessibility. We need handrails because it's a building with very sharp corners on the edges of the stairways and on this, particularly the side porch. We are planning to get a lift on the side porch for wheelchairs, but if you had a wheelchair up on that porch as it is now, you might very well roll off, which could be very dangerous. So we are thinking that we need to put railings around that deck and some kind of railing on each of the main stairways that are outside. There are two on that porch, and you can see those on the picture with the pillars. You can see there's one on going into the door and then one coming up beside the house. Then we have the front porch where Mrs. Roosevelt came when she was visiting the homestead. She would have lunch sometimes at the Cump House. So that's our more formal area, and people don't go in there except when we're having more formal events. But we need to make it safe in all cases because we expect to be open some hours of every week now this summer. And then we do have people coming for larger events, one of which we hope you'll come to in the end of June. It's the last weekend of June. It's called Something New, Something Old, Something New. And we have some wedding dresses that go back to 1907, 1936. And according to the Historic Preservation Office, we actually have more historic furniture than any other historic structure in the state. So I think it is a little jewel that we need to begin to share with the public now that it's safer, and especially when we can make it handicap accessible. So we need your help on this. We believe from the estimate that we have, it will be 7,500 possibly by the time we get through the COVID increases. And if we could get your help, we don't need the whole amount, but we would certainly appreciate having some help on this project according to what you're able to contribute to making the Kump House more accessible, both for older people. And the other thing that kind of worries me is when kids are waiting for their parents on that porch, that they could fall off, and horsing around and things like that. So I really think, as it says on the paper, it's all generations that need this additional protection and safety measure, and we will need to do it as soon as we can. So we would like to ask for help from the county commission.
So you're wanting this to, like, to help with out of city, like for tourists to come in and look at the place, like, is that, it can be used for that?
Like what?
For tourists to come in and look at the place, at the
Do
building?
you have tours of the company?
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Our plan is to have an open house June 26th, of 25 and 26, and then to be open at least 2 days a week, 2 periods of time every week, not all day, but when we think that the tours will be most likely through July and August. And then we'll see, by that time, we probably will do some more at the time of Forest Festival. And I'm not sure how much traffic we'll have after school starts, but we will constantly try to see that we are open when the traffic is coming through. And it is one of the most traveled intersections in the whole state, and especially in the Highlands. And so we're getting more and more tourists coming right by that building.
Because we have a hotel motel tax that we can use for this type of thing. Have you gone to the city and asked them yet for any?
Yes,
Help with it.
we've asked the city for help, and they're going to help us to have a pavilion, which is going to be a very nice thing, because we have outside classes. We are also working with a group called Experiential Learning, and we work with the Appalachian Forest National Heritage Region, so that we're trying to be connected with, say, Seneca Rocks and other parts of the Highland area where people are traveling now and want to get outside. But when it rains, they need a place to go. And the head of the Seneca Rocks Center tells me that that's the biggest complaint people have. They come and they're in a cabin, and if it rains all week or all weekend, they have no place to go. So we are working with them to try to figure out how we can make our place a piece of a much more successful tourist trade.
Okay, I think, I'll make a motion that we approve, we'll do half of what you need, $37.50,
That's great.
and we'll take that out of hotel motel. Okay. So I make a motion that we approve the funding request, from the Kump Education Center for $3,750, taken out of hotel motel.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor that approves the funding request from Dr. Heather Mile regarding the handicap accessibility at the Kump House Education Center. And the amount we approved would be $3,750, which will be taken out of hotel motel tax. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
And we got an address here to.
I don't see an address on here, can you?
Oh, it was on the
You
other.
have one?
Is it on there?
I'll get it for you. It's,
Yeah, the clerk's office.
And-
will need it.
P.O. Box 1106, Elkins, and the Kump Education Center. I'm sorry for that. We did have it on there, but it was at the bottom, and I
Just need to
think we were
notice
gonna
in the
move it up.
chat.
But thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Did not see. My bad, I got a bad memory, I'm getting old, Chris. Oh, no, didn't have to. There you go. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, next we have item B, that's informational presentation and funding request for Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs. We have Chris Lee here to speak to this.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, members of the public, and administrators. Thank you as always for taking the time to allow us to be here and speak to you. I brought with me today Owen Pete. He's our youth programming coordinator for Elkins Parks and Recreation. Both of us are here wearing our Hofnod hats, not our Parks and Recreation hats today. So first, I just wanted to say thank you to this commission for your years and years of support. At this point, we've operated for over 30 years in this community, and I know that this commission has been real important in helping us make that happen. Prior to 2019, the original organizers for Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs started to, I think, become a little bit jaded with the direction that it had become, and there was talks of possibly shutting Hofnod down. And we caught word of that at Elkins Parks and Rec, and wanted to make sure this important event stayed in the community. So in order to do that, we felt that it was important to kind of renew the focus back to what it originally was intended to be. Let's talk about the anti-drug message and how outdoor recreation can be a great option to pursue other than those poor lifestyle choices. So I got with the original Hofnod board, and we worked hard to change the direction from the community expo that it had morphed into and back to this original message through experiential education. So no more fundraisers for each of the individual groups, no one selling stuff. The idea is everybody that is participating has an experiential education opportunity for kids to participate in for free. And that was important, for free. We didn't want money to be spent. So the event in 2019 was a great success. We had an estimated 1,500 people were through the door that year. So you have to think 1,500 through the door, probably 600 or 700 kids. That's awesome. They got to experience this great community event. And we received great feedback, both from the participating organizations and those in the community who participated in the event. The highest praise came from the parents of the kids, who thanked us for changing Hofnod back to something that was actually truly for the kids. So, of course, we started getting into 2020, and we came in front of this commission, and you guys granted us $5,000 for the 2020 Hofnod. I think a month and a half or 2 months later, we had to cancel the event, and we, of course, returned the check to you because of COVID. Well, we're excited now that we can bring it back. Hofnod is an awesome event. It has, I think, a huge impact on this community. And I think it can have a huge impact in the lives of the kids who come in and get to learn about fishing, hunting, backpacking, most importantly, the anti-drug element. Because we are living in an area where we have real social problems. So another thing to consider is Hofnod provides a platform for these various community organizations to communicate their respective messages to the youth in the community. In 2019, we had 8 law enforcement agencies, 6 outdoor recreation agencies, and 9 community organizations who attended Hofnod with an experiential education activity. It was really important that we changed the focus back to get more participation from law enforcement. And I think we were successfully able to do that. So now, I think that year we had Elkins Parks and Recreation and Randolph County Family Resource Network were the driving organizers for that event. And that's still the case now. The FRN is still working with us on this year's event. So so why do we think this is important? Our philosophy is always to play the long game. You guys have heard me say this in front of this commission before. I believe that we're making a significant impact in the lives of youth in our communities. I also truly believe that this impact will have a positive effect in the future on some of the social problems we're plagued with. This is just a tool in the long game, and I think it's an important tool. We are also working on forming a nonprofit organization for Hofnod. It's long-standing, it's just been an organization that has been a standalone. We are trying to recruit new members so that we can have a board and get some of that nonprofit status, so it's easier to get grants. I'd love to work with local law enforcement to potentially get a member of the Sheriff's Department or Elkins Police Department on that board, because again, they play such an important role. So I'm going to turn it over to Owen. He's been the driving force on the organization of this year's event. He's going to tell you a little bit more about what this year looks like. I will say that I will be there, And my job this year, this event, is I will be running the campfire and making s'mores. I promise if you come and see me, I will make you a perfect s'more. My father taught me well. I don't do the burn stuff. You know, we got nice, perfect golden brown. Come see me there. Even if you don't get a s'more, come check us out at the event. And I will say, lastly, I will say that we're here to request the same amount you guys have provided us in 2019, and we're going to provide us again in 2020 as a $5,000 allocation for this event. Owen, will you tell us a little bit more about what you've got planned this year? Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. My name is Owen Pete. I'm the Youth Development Coordinator for Elkins Parks and Recreation. This year we continue to focus on the roots of HOFNOD. This will be evident in how we further structure the program to reflect now I'm getting all experiential education and outdoor recreation being the driving aspect of this event. We have continued to strengthen the program by creating a stable platform for the event to grow year to year. We offer many activities for kids such as climbing wall, archery tag, and gemstone mining, just to name a few of them. There will be displays on local wildlife such as fish, birds of prey, snake displays. All activities that will be offered are interactive and hands-on education based on and with no cost to the participant. Organizations that are participating are the United States Forest Service, the DNR, Randolph County Police Department, National Rifle Association, West Virginia Wildlife Center, Elkins Fire Department, the DEP, West Virginia Fish and Wildlife, the 4-H Group, Youth Health Services, the Potomac Highland Cooperative Weed and Pest Management Area, the West Virginia Raptor Rehabilitation Center, and Randolph County Resource Network, not just including Chris's s'more making skills. This year we are opening our stage to local dance groups that will be performing during the event. We will be offering a variety of door prizes that will be given out this year that have been donated by local businesses. We are thrilled to say that the National Rifle Association has awarded us a grant that will allow us to raffle off 6 lifetime hunting fishing licenses this year. As you can see, this is a community effort that is recognized for its importance and enjoyed by many youth throughout the years. Kids might not ever get these kind of opportunities, and many communities have lost this program. Outdoor recreation is a vital aspect of what we hold dearest in Randolph County. This gives kids the opportunity to experience outdoor recreation, appreciate the area that we are blessed to live in, and steer them away from drug use. HOFNOD, like the whole world, had to be taken a year off during COVID. We are excited to bring back this impactful community event this year, and for many years we hope to continue to with the support of Randolph County Commission. Thank you.
Owen,
Yes.
my club's supposed to be on that list.
Oh, that's just some of them. I know we have a larger list. I didn't want to go through the whole thing, but yes,
All
you
right,
are
just
on
making
there.
sure
Don't
we're
worry.
on there.
Don't worry. And if you
Both
guys have any,
one's great.
yeah, if you guys have any questions, this is the time.
No Peggy's on there, do you?
Yeah, no, not there. Put that in bold.
We're gonna do a banner.
I'm just making sure I still have my spot.
Don't worry about it.
How do you spell your last name?
Pete, P-E-E-T.
Well, for one, I appreciate the efforts you guys are doing and the work you're doing. Anything we can do to help our kids get away from TV and games and get them back outside like it was when we was kids, I'm all for it. If we can help you, I'm glad we can. I'll make a motion to accept the funding request for Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs, and the amount of $5,000 will be taken from hotel motel tax.
Okay, got a motion forward to approve the funding request from Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs in the amount of $5,000, which will be taken from the hotel motel tax. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
So we'll just give you the check back.
As long as you change the date on it, that's all.
Thank you very much.
All right, Owen, thank you. Okay, is there anyone here from Beverly Volunteer fire department? No? I may skip over that and get back, we've got some other people here, okay? I'd like to move on to item E, and that's consider approval of funding request from Davis Nuffins College. Scott, would you like to come up and just give us another brief rundown of?
Good afternoon, it's again an honor and pleasure to be here. This is our third visit or our third time on the agenda, and the college is seeking funding to get across the finish line our amphitheater project. We have a community partner that has stepped up significantly. The city of Elkins has stepped up right around $44,000, and there's an ask before the commission today of $50,000 for the amphitheater project. We also have a contractor involved that's going to do this project at cost. We're a little concerned. The plan was to have this done before Forest Festival this fall, and with supply issues and such, just not sure. So the funding request today is before you will definitely get us moving in the right direction, and we will hope and pray that we can at least start in some form or fashion before this fall. So that's where we are.
You know what they say, third time's a charm.
That's right. Happy to address any questions that you might have.
Okay. Now you all filled us in pretty well what's going on. We appreciate that.
Well, I've always, I grew up with the Forest Festival and I've grown up loving it. And I appreciate the work you guys do letting us use the property for that. I know that's what the main part of that amphitheater is going to be for.
Public use.
For public use and for the Forest Festival and things that needs, and it does need replaced. The thing is falling apart, and I'll make a motion to approve the funding request. Form WAMSB. No, I'm the wrong one.
That's okay, keep going.
I'll make a motion to approve the funding request from Davis and Elkins College in the amount of $50,000 to be taken from the American Rescue Plan Fund.
Got a motion on the floor to approve the funding request from the Davis and Elkins College in the amount of $50,000 to be taken from the American Rescue Plan Fund. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, moving on to item F, and that's, consider approval of funding request from WAMSB. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to discuss?
Yeah, sure.
We may have a few questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, Commissioners, thank you for addressing the issue. My name is Randy Sanders, the president of the 501c3, which is the organizing committee for the World Association of Marching Show Bands. So just back here today revisiting our initial request for the $10,000 of funding to help assist putting this international event on. Just a couple of follow-ups. We've had some successful meetings with Barber County, and they're considering some assistance there, working with the folks in Philippi. We're going to be meeting with Braxton County soon. Of course, we've had a robust set of Zoom calls with the CBB directors throughout Central West Virginia. So we're getting the word out, and kind of excited to announce that we have 7 people committed to come to West Virginia the week of the West Virginia Strawberry Festival, which is just in a couple of weeks. They have their visas done. We have people from El Salvador, the Bahamas, and Honduras who will be here for a few days on site visits to see the area, have a look around and start making their final commitments for the trip. And we got our registration forms in from 2 outstanding bands from Canada the other day. So they're totally committed and they're in. So that's a little bit of an update for you. And I'll be happy to answer questions and any that you may have whatsoever with the initial.
Did you have any, things planned for Randolph County?
Absolutely, sure.
I mean, during that week or
Sure.
whatnot?
Sure, we're gonna have enough folks that we need to be able to plan activities in the central part of West Virginia. We can't just keep them all, crammed into Buchanan. So we're gonna work with the CVB directors. We're gonna work with the Chamber of Commerce presidents and the Economic Development Authority to find out what opportunities there are for tours, for exhibitions, bring a busload over at certain times. We're gonna work with the industries that are located in each one of our regions to see if they have any connections. Even in Barber County, I was talking to some of the folks there, and there's some plastic industries there that do a lot of exporting into different countries, Honduras, El Salvador, so they're gonna look at maybe hosting a reception for some of these international travelers. And of course, we would want that to be hosted in their hometown, in their county, in their area. So it just benefit, everyone involved. And of course, I think we're working with D&E, I believe, we're working with D&E to house some of the students here. Sorry, the students, I'm caught on the college theme. We're gonna house, probably be housing some of the competitors here in Randolph County, which in turn will mean their followers who might not be staying on campus or in some of the area facilities that we would use, whether it be the school system or superintendent schools is gonna be working with the Randolph County Superintendent Schools to try to use some of their facilities. But their followers are gonna want to book hotel rooms, stay close to where their competitors and their family members are, so.
Are these high school kids or are they college?
It's a variety.
Uh-huh.
It's high school, it's college, but it's also community bands. In a lot of countries, community bands are hugely popular. So they could have anywhere from, members that are from 18, 80, and they just take it so serious. They practice year round for these competitions. And we've just heard from 2 domestic bands too. So we have one from Tennessee that I think we're gonna be able to land to come in, and we're working hard with the West Virginia bands, of course, to have mountaineer participation as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a variety of types of bands, but they're all gonna be show bands, marching and show bands that are used to these international competitions.
How long again is this gonna last?
It'll be from July 17th to the 24th of 2023. And of course, what we're trying to promote is having them come in a few days early, stay a few days later, take advantage of some tourism opportunities. And that's where we'll be really engaging the assistance from our professional CBB directors, Chamber of Commerce, presidents and boards, and the economic development authorities to help plan excursions, plan opportunities for these folks to enjoy all that West Virginia has to offer.
How have you considered how many people you're planning to house here in Randolph County?
You know what, that's still, I'm letting the CBB folks handle that, just kind of handle the housing part of it.
Okay.
But I know that Wesleyan can handle about 1,100 max. We can put about 500 into the school systems. Beyond that, we're gonna need to come now, and we're looking at about 3,000 competitors that we need to find housing for. So we're going to utilize everything we can find, I would imagine, here in Randolph County.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is, and the drive between the 2 counties is so easy, particularly, with the 4 lanes and so forth. It's just a quick trip that this is one of the more ideal locations for us to utilize.
Right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the funding request from WAMSB in the amount of $7,500 to be taken from Hotel Motel Fund.
Okay, got a motion to award approved funding request from WAMSB in the amount of $7,500, which will be taken from the Hotel Motel Fund. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll continue our work with all of your area directors here to start our planning now, so.
Do we have your information to get you all checked?
I think we need an address.
Yeah, we just need an address, maybe we haven't.
Okay, I can give you, if you want me to write it down or just give it to you. The offices are at 40 South Florida Street, unit 101. Buchanan, West Virginia, 26201. And would be Wansby Organizing Committee. Will be fine, okay? Great. Thank you all again for your confidence and your support.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anybody else? Is right here from Valleyhead?
I don't think so.
All right,
That was
so you wanna go back, let's clean up these
Yeah.
CDs.
Okay, we'll be back up for item C, and that's informational presentation and funding request from Beverly Volunteer Fire Department for, I think it's called Beverly Fires a Week, I think. or
Beverly Days. Since they're not here, and this is something that we do every year, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to approve the funding request for Beverly Days in an amount of $2,500 to be taken from hotel motel.
Motion for and approve the funding request for Beverly Days in the amount of $2,500, which will be taken from hotel motel tax. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
And on item D, they're not here,
No, I don't do that, they called and canceled, they're not here, so you just want
so
to.
they're not sitting, I'll make a motion that no action be taken on item D.
Okay. So then where we at now? Item G, let's consider approval of funding request for the Valley Head Homecoming from Valley Head Community Center. And since no one's here, they talked to me about that. What they have a parade on Saturday before Memorial Day, and they have a float, but they used to have them big, yeah, when we purchase supplies to repair the structure, veterans, pictures and decorations. They have a big float, a lot of the local people's pictures and what war they in. It's a really nice float. They've had it up there for years. I've been up to several of the parades. And it's quite a big thing for Valley Head. Never had it happen. It's the first time, like I say, for years, probably, so. But it's a good time.
I'll make a motion, we approve the funding request for the Valley Head Community Center in the amount of $2,500 to be taken from hotel motel.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve the funding request for Valley Head Community Center, amount of $2,500 to be taken from hotel motel tax. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to item H, and I consider approval of non-benefited summer intern for the prosecuting attorney's office. Michael, you found me up.
Absolutely.
I think it's Rob, because he was always here when Brady was here.
That's right, it is Rob. Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm here today to request permission to hire Alexandra Hall as a non-benefited summer intern. She currently attends the University of Richmond and majors in philosophy, politics, economics, and law. I have previously worked with her. She was a DCT student and intern in my office from Elkins High School and did an outstanding job as a high school student. So I don't anticipate that being any different after a year of college that she just finished up. It is a previously budgeted item, so I do have funding for that position. And I would request to hire her from May 9th, 2022 to July 8th, 2022 at the rate of $9.50 an hour.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-benefited summer intern in the prosecutor's office. As presented.
Okay, got a motion to approve the non-benefited summer intern for the prosecuting attorney's office. As submitted, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next, we have item I, and that's considered the second reading of increased county 911 fees.
Anything to say on those?
No, just again, I mean, it's been 20 years, it was supposed to be revisited 10 years ago, so it's a much needed increase, to help pay for what we need at the center. Call volume certainly up, so we need additional staff, so with this increase, we'll be able to do that.
And it's just on landlines, not cell
Just on
phone.
landlines, yes.
And landlines are going up from $2 to $2.50?
They're going from $2.50 to $3
$3.
for residential, and commercial is going from $2.50 to $6.50.
And how'd you get to $6.50?
We done a study of surrounding counties, and it's more likely that we will have an incident at a commercial facility or grounds versus someone's home. So that taxes us more within the comm center dealing with those types of calls.
Okay.
So
Did you get all that? That's what we've been getting, so make sure you covered all the bases. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the second read of the increased 911 fees.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve the second Where we at here?
Second reading of the,
There we go. Got a motion for to approve the second reading of the increase county 911 service.
Put it away, it was in there.
Got a motion to approve that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. When will this go into effect, 1st of July?
Yes, as soon as I get everything sent to you.
Next, we have item J, and that's consider approval of hotel motel refund.
we have a hotel that it's VRBO, right? They collect now the tax and submit it to the sheriff's office. Well, this person also paid it, so it's a double payment. So we're just gonna refund, cause they paid their hotel motel tax. VRBO paid their hotel motel tax, so they just need a refund. And it's it's the Bemis campground, and it's $125.46. Cause VRBO collected it, paid it, and then she also paid it by mistake.
That's Beams?
Bemis campground. So I make a motion that we approve the hotel motel refund as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve the hotel motel refund as presented. What was the amount?
$125.46 to Bemis campground.
And the amount of $125.64.
46 cents.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Moving on to item K, that's approval, that is a consider approval appointment to Midland PSD Board.
They're asking us to reappoint Steve Schumacher for another 6-year term on the board of directors for the Midland PSD. His current term is set to expire June the 30th. His new term would expire on June 30th, 2028. So I make a motion that we approve the reappointment of Steve Schumacher to another 6-year term.
Motion on the floor to approve Steve Schumacher to a 6-year term to the Midland PSD Board. And that term beginning June 30th, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2028. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Moving on to item L, and that's consider approval of resolution for West Virginia Department of Transportation alternative grants. What is this, Peggy?
Oh,
You're up.
I'm up.
Wake up.
I was on Facebook.
Sorry, she's snoozing.
No, I was reading Facebook, seriously. Okay, the DOT grants, Transportation Alternative Funds, that one is open now. It closes, May 13th, I believe. No, this is May. Whatever, anyway, the Transportation Alternative is open. There's no ceiling to it. There is a floor to it. You have to apply for at least $50,000. It's a 20% match. It is for all kinds of things. It is for sidewalks, trails, boardwalks, connectors, streetscapes, bike trails, bridges, riverwalks, ATV trails, railway depot restoration, pedestrian and bicycle facilities. You can get the grant for design, construction, maintenance, whatever. It's pretty much open. I've gotten this grant 5 times before for the city of Elkins, and it's
So now you're gonna get it 6th time for the county.
but yeah, I'm gonna do it 6 times. I applied for it, really I applied for it 6 times and I got it 5. I was denied 1 year. That's the year Louise Historic District got it over my project, but then the next year I got it, that I also managed their project, so, yeah, I have a 5 out of 6 rate going with that one.
Okay.
But what we would need for that is, I'd like for you to sign a resolution so we can apply for it, because we have to send in an intent to apply. And if they approve the intent, then you can apply. But if they don't approve your intent, you're not allowed to apply.
So we don't have to put a project that we're gonna do first, we just need to.
Right now, I just need the resolution. I'll need the project before we do the intent,
Okay.
but not a full blown description of it, just a,
Okay.
you know.
Can I make a motion to approve the resolution for the WVB DOT Transportation Alternatives Grant to have our county clerk sign it?
I got a motion for approve the resolution for WVDOT Transportation Alternative Grant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. That is for the clerk to sign.
She's gonna be signing a lot here in a second.
Okay, next we have item M, let's consider approval of resolution for the West Virginia DEP litter control grant.
Okay, this litter control grant is one that we've gotten here, for 2 years now. We have a litter control, well, the Randolph County Commission has a litter control project going on where, we choose 3 spots each year. They're usually off the beaten path, like where people go party down by swimming holes, fishing holes, and leave their trash. We kind of adopt those spots. We put up, signage, trash bags, and we provide for the haul away of it and collection of it. That's what we've been doing with your money for the last 2 years with that, and we'd like to continue that program in, for next year. That is a dollar for dollar match on that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and it's 5,000 at the most.
Max?
Yeah. But the total project will be 10. They'll get 5 and you'll get 5.
Is this where you bought the trash cans?
Yeah.
From you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the West Virginia DEP litter control grant.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution for the West Virginia DEP litter control grant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Was that him or her? That's hers, yeah. That's hers. Okay, sorry.
Right, Brendan?
Yep, had her name on it.
That's where it says.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item N, let's consider approval of resolution for West Virginia Department of Transportation Recreation Trails Program grant.
Okay, this is an 80-20 grant. It's also through the DOT. It's very similar to the Transportation Enhancement Grant, Transportation Alternatives Grant. They keep changing the names of those. This is for trails, trailheads, facilities, signs, bridges, bridge walks, boardwalks, things like that. Pretty much the same as the other ones for, except I might say the Transportation Enhancement, they normally focus mainly on sidewalk and land streetscape projects and ADA, things like that. This rail and trail one, it focuses on trails and stuff.
Can any of these be used for the pool?
We try.
Alright.
They approved the intent,
Mhm.
but then when it came down to it, they didn't approve it.
Okay,
But yeah,
for
it
the
should have been used, it should have been,
The
I don't,
ADA.
we didn't get it because they ran out of funds, and I did it on the, from the ADA point of view on that one.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution signing of the West Virginia DOT Recreation Trails Program grant.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution for Washington DEP litter control grant. No, wrong. Motion, we have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution for West Virginia DOT recreational trails program grant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. So we have next item O, let's consider approval of resolution for this Cops hiring program grant.
Okay, this grant is, basically, we'll go through Rob Elvin's office. He can hire up to 3 positions, and this grant will provide $125,000 over a 3-year period for those 3 positions. So what it's telling him is he can hire 3 officers for around $40,000 a year. Anything over the $40,000 a year
Comes out of his budget.
would come out of his budget. But, yeah, but he can hire them, and it has to be for a 3-year period, and you're required to keep them for 1 year after the program ends.
So that's guaranteed 4 years.
It's not school, it's not the school program, right?
No, this is totally county sheriff's department.
This is like community-oriented police grants, what this is.
Why not? I'll make a motion to approve the, signing for the cops hiring program grant.
I got a motion on the floor to approve the resolution for the cops hiring program grant. Any discussion?
Is there a grant for the cars that we have to buy now?
We gotta pay for those?
And all the
I don't know,
equipment?
might be,
Okay.
but I'm looking for other vehicles for 'em right now.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
But you know that'd be the first thing he asks. I need
I just
cars
like
now.
to get the ones we order.
That's true.
Hey, if money's out there, you might as well go for it.
That's right.
One more, Peggy, that's item P, is consider approval of resolution for the West Virginia DEP Rehabilitation Environmental Action Plan Grant Program for fiscal year 2023.
This is for recycling assistance?
Recycling assistance grant.
This grant has a zero match. This is totally free money. You can get up to $150,000, no money involved. I've gotten this grant 4 times previously for Joe Gum and the city of Elkins. So I've had some success with this grant. I have recently found out that it is permissible for dilapidated buildings. But I just recently found that out, and I need to do some more research on that. Oh, I figured that one interests you, Chris, yeah.
What's that?
The original plan.
$150,000 for your committee.
Thanks.
No, what we originally,
Have you talked to Sterling about this? Mentioned it?
yeah, what we originally had planned doing this grant for the project for, and if there's any money left, I guess we could use it for something else. But we're working with the Solid Waste Authority and the Recycling Center, Sterling Daniels. We are working with that because that recycling center is really important to the county here.
I'm sorry, this $150,000 is for the recycling out in the industrial park,
Yes,
right?
free money.
And then whatever else we need, what else can we use it for besides that?
Well,
If we have left
we're
over.
meeting with, and Chris is on the Solid Waste Authority Board, we're gonna come up with a plan for the recycling center and anything else we need.
But you can use it for dilapidated buildings.
I'm gonna check into that a little bit better because before you couldn't,
Okay,
and I think I read something recently where you can now.
they changed it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna read up on that.
But if you get this grant this year, you can't apply next year, so. it's
Pardon
good
me? Right, this one is a every other year grant.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, the recycle place needs.
They need,
Yeah,
they need.
Yeah, and that's what we had originally spoken about,
Yeah, they
doing
need-
it for the recycling center.
They have cleaned it up a lot.
Oh, yeah, it looks a lot better.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the fiscal year 2023 recycling assistance grant.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the resolution for the fiscal year 2023 recycling assistance grant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's it,
All
thanks.
opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Peggy.
You can come to every meeting and get us money.
I will update you guys too, all of my CSOs have taken the litter control officer test, all but one, he's not interested in doing it at all. But all the rest of them have, so, that put 4 or 5 guys out there at one time.
One more thing on that. One of these grants here from REAP, there was 3 of them I read to you, I believe, no, 2. One of them will pay so much funding for litter control officers. So, we'll look at that too as we.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Final settlements.
Final settlement of annual accounting.
Get 10 final settlements. I'll make a motion to approve 10 final settlements as presented.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the 10 final settlements as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next, budget revision, you got those?
Yeah, we got 3 state budget revisions. First one is, for 225, it's to increase the property enforcement lines where we've been, 2 people have paid.
All that collection.
Yeah, on their liens on the property. So it's a state budget revision for 225.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the state budget revision amount of $225. Commissioner Keesling.
Aye.
Commissioner Siler.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Aye. All. Motion carries.
All right, next one is for election equipment, $8,000. It's for,
I had $8,000 in my budget request last year, and somehow that was taken out to 0.
so you need that back for your,
Yes, because it's not only for equipment, it's for like programming, different things come out of that. It's not just for the machines themselves, different things come out of that line.
okay, was it in this year's budget?
Yes,
All right, the one we just did.
yes, but I
Alright.
think last year it was taken out because we got all that new equipment, and they thought, we wouldn't be using anything out of that line.
Okay.
We take other stuff out of that line too.
Okay. So I make a motion to, well,
Okay, got a motion for approval.
That's
State
that's
state budget revision in the amount of $8,000. Mr. Keeson?
Aye.
Mr. Song?
Aye.
Mr. C, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, the next one is, regional jail bill. So we're increasing that line by $290,000, we just have nothing to cover that.
Yeah, from where you guys had cut it in the budget last year, we ended up like having higher bills than we thought we
And we
would.
got May and June to go, there's no money left in right now.
Yeah,
Cause we were trending down because of COVID and
Now we're trending up.
back up,
Yeah.
so, alright. So we need to increase that line $290,000 to pay the jail bill.
Okay. By motion forward for the state budget revision for jail bill in the amount of $290,000. Mr. Keeson?
Aye.
Mr. Fowler?
Aye.
Mr. C, aye. Motion carried. Divisions of property
Erroneous assessment.
and erroneous assessment.
So there's 9 erroneous.
I'll make a motion to approve the one,
Division.
division, yeah, I got it backwards, sorry. I'll make a motion to approve the one, division of property as presented.
By motion forward to approve the division of property as submitted. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You said there's 9 of them.
Up on the top corner of it.
Okay, so there's 8.
Oh, you, okay, sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
I just wanna make sure we got the right number.
Me too.
No biggie, no biggie.
Make sure you got a motion forward to
Yeah,
approve the 8 erroneous assessments as presented.
Yes.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried. Distressed properties,
There's no distressed properties.
fire fee adjustments.
Make a motion to approve the 7 fire fee adjustments as submitted.
Got a motion for approve the 7 fire fee adjustments as submitted. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried.